What is good, guys? I hope you are well and welcome to the new office, the new camera. A lot of new stuff is happening and I'm very, very excited for this one because this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Really looking forward to it because it's going to be a much better, hopefully a much better quality of picture. You guys are going to benefit. It's a proper handy little bit of kit as well. I might do a little bit of a review on it at some point, but yeah, it's going to make life a lot easier for me to record content. It means I haven't got to rely on my phone so much. This little thing genuinely will fit in your pocket, which is cool. So first one of these that's coming at you post the Christmas break. I hope everyone had a really nice Christmas, by the way. It's been a bit of a weird one. We've obviously had the amazing part of Christmas, like Louis' first Christmas being much more aware. He's nearly 18 months now. So while he's not fully aware of what's going on, he's definitely much more aware of what's going on, which has been really nice for us. You know, taking him to see Santa, and his little face was super excited when we came down on Christmas morning, which is pretty special. Getting loads and loads of presents, absolutely spoilt, despite us saying, like, we're not going to do that. And the poor kid did get a little bit overwhelmed at one point because there's just so much going on. And if anyone knows what it's like with kids' presents, they all make noises, they all light up, and it was just one of those like absolutely mesmerizing things. But we're all good, and you know, we had a really nice time as well. Obviously marred slightly by the news of my grandma passing, and we'll be back in the UK next week for the funeral. You know, a little bit of a last minute trip that we didn't necessarily plan to make, but you know, that's life and these things happen. I've also got my first call with a life coach therapist this weekend coming. Something that I'm looking forward to. I'm nervous about, I'm apprehensive about, and I will share more about that in due course as well. You know, it's something that I've needed to do. I think it's something that's taken me a while to maybe like admit to myself that I needed some help. But my head has been a bit all over the place, and it's definitely something that I do need help with. So I'm looking forward to that happening. You know, there's various things that I think I need to dig into, especially like things in my past. And, you know, I've got no doubt that it's going to be difficult at times, but I'm very keen to make that work because I want to make sure that I'm moving forward for myself, for my family, for my business, you know, all of those things as well. So I'll keep you posted on how that is going. I haven't been to the gym for a week, just because I've had little niggles. It's been just crazy busy, so haven't really focused too much on any of that kind of stuff for the time being. I attempted to go a couple of times, but just either the timing just wasn't right or I just felt absolutely exhausted. So I have taken opportunity just to have a little bit more downtime, something that I don't do very often. And yeah, I've had 7 days off. I'm hoping to get back in there tomorrow, but we shall see. My arm niggle is still not quite fully fixed, which is again a little bit frustrating, but hopefully that's going to settle down nice and quickly too. Check-in with Christian will happen tomorrow. He's then taking a week off next week, so there'll be no like formal check-in for me with Christian next week, but I'll still keep this video coming. Obviously a little bit of a check-in opportunity for me with you guys, so my pictures will follow tomorrow as well. Weight has stayed largely the same throughout this Christmas period. I haven't gone mad with food. Like most days I've only been eating sort of 2 meals a day, just because that's how it's been. Like where there's been a bigger meal, it's happened sort of mid-afternoon, and then I've had my breakfast in the morning as well. A couple of little picky bits through the day, but nothing in particular or major. So yeah, weight pretty steady, no training for a week, and just looking forward to getting back into a little bit more rhythm and routine, and this little camera is definitely going to be a big part of that. All checked in for the week, and a pretty good check-in actually. Probably another one of those where, you know, I'm looking at the week thinking, has it been that great a week? You know, I didn't train all week, but actually, you know, I check in, and Christian's always really good at reassuring me. And actually, to be fair, you know, he said probably one of the best Christmas check-ins that I've ever seen. You know, despite not going to the gym, weight is exactly the same week to week. So in terms of food, we know we haven't gone off track at all. You know, pretty much the only day that I didn't really have a completely on-plan day was Christmas Day. Other than that, you know, hitting my calories and macros as needed. And as I say, the week off the gym, a little bit frustrating, just as much as anything from like a mental health point of view. But my body did need it. My arm, I've had like a little niggle. I guess it's sort of tennis elbowy almost. Had a bit of physio before Christmas, and he sort of clicked and cracked it around a bit. It's still slightly sore, and in these situations, most of the time, rest is the best thing. So getting a good amount of rest in is largely what is needed in these situations. So I tried my best to let that happen. But yeah, managed to get in the gym, managed to have a reasonable bit of a session, just taking things relatively steady. I'll pop the pics up just so you can have a little look at those. So where we're at post-Christmas and where we're going to be starting the new year at. It's a pretty decent physique. Again, considering that I haven't trained for a week, considering these are like flat, zero pump, they're actually not too bad. And I think that, again, that only happens when you've got a lot of years of experience behind you. I'm not the most muscular guy in the world, but my physique is holding up even in these situations. I don't necessarily look like I haven't trained for a week. There are people who will just look really, really like flat, almost to the point of looking like they don't actually train. My body's holding up pretty well in these circumstances, and it's another thing that I need to give myself a little bit more credit for from time to time. So all in all, we are back. We're trying to get back into a bit of rhythm and routine. I'm obviously back at work this week. Lara's got the week off. Louis not at the childminders either. So trying to just balance everything as much as possible between doing what I need to do from a work point of view, making sure that clients are where they need to be and well supported going into, the new year. This sort of post-Christmas period that can sometimes be a little bit tricky to navigate. And I actually think this week's check-in is one of the most important ones. Like, I give clients last week off check-ins. I still touch base with everyone. I still make sure that they know they're well supported and they've got everything they need to. But in terms of actual formal check-ins, it is 1 week a year that I do take off and try to just enjoy that time with family. So checking in this week becomes that little bit more important, making sure that we're, or to some extent, drawing a line under what's happened over the Christmas period. Some people will have been very, very much on plan, still managed to lose weight. Other people will have just used it as an opportunity to very much relax and added a few pounds here and there. It's just about getting back on track now. It's about, look, it's happened, it's done. You had a fantastic time, and now we've got the goals that we want to hit. So let's push on, let's make that progress, and let's use this week's check-in as an opportunity to do that, get that rhythm and routine back, and all of that is going to set you in fantastic stead for what's to come in 2026. And I'm no different. I've got things I want to achieve, and I'm going to share a little bit more of those on my socials. I'll talk about those a little bit more, as we go through the next few sort of weeks and months of what's going on in these episodes. But as always, thank you very, very much for tuning in. If there's anything that you would like me to answer, at some point I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A episode. So, get those questions in. I'll touch base on all of those. I'll take care and answer as many of those as possible, and just make sure that you've got everything you need to have a fantastic 2026 as well. So hope you're good. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because it really, really helps. And I'll be back again next week.